3, 2, 1, go! We are live at the Chicago VMUG UserCon. Snuggling at its afternoon cocktail hour.
Bartender knows it's fun.
Yeah, I am with.
There's nothing weird about three nerdy guys snuggling in front of a
live camera.
It's completely acceptable behavior.
That's such a normal thing. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I have Mr. Tim Davis. I have Mr. Cody D. Arkland. So, guys, I'm unfortunately not going to be able to sit in either one of your sessions today. So please tell me.
Because you have a lack of commitment.
Because I have to go home and it's a 3-hour drive. Probably with traffic. So
fly. That's what Tim and I are doing.
Well, okay. So Cody, what the heck is your session about, and why should people listen to it?
So I'm doing a session on cloud automation services. So the official title is how architecting multi-cloud with cloud automation services, or something like that.
Well, if you don't know, then I don't know.
I'm just here to talk about things that are fun. Really, it's about introducing people to how we're doing multi-cloud with cloud automation services. So that's the new software as a service automation platform that we we're in initial availability now, but we announced it at VMworld. I think we're doing one of your podcasts on this in the future.
Yes, next month I think. We need to schedule that.
Yes.
So let's do that.
So the session really is about kind of starting at the ground level, what it looks like, how we do the mappings between all of these different cloud environments, how we create a consistent deployment process and a consistent management process between all public clouds we support today. So that's Azure, AWS, and private cloud.
So it's sort of like if excuse me if I have a bad analogy here, but like your cloud automation stuff, is it kind of like being a giant puppet master over all of these different cloud platforms?
Yeah.
Where you kind of just like pull the string over here to make Azure do this,
It's similar to that. It's been compared to being VRA in the cloud, and it's not VRA in the cloud because it solves a very different use case.
Okay.
But considering it as like the puppet master of how it's maybe not so much puppet master, maybe a broker is a better thought behind it.
Broker.
It's a way of creating a relationship, a single source of relationship between all of these cloud services. So, for example, when we look at a very simple level, when you're deploying a resource and you want to deploy a Ubuntu server, how do you know what a Ubuntu server is in AWS? How do you know what it is in Azure? How do you know what it is in vSphere? We create those relationships in cloud automation services so that when you deploy it in the canvas, and you create your canvas item, and you define out Ubuntu, the platform knows, hey, I'm going to deploy this to Azure, so I'm going to use the Azure equivalent of Ubuntu.
Okay.
So it's that, but at a bigger scale, right? It's taking into consideration like governance, approvals, multi-cloud services. So like, for example, inside of Azure or AWS, if you want to consume something like EMR, RDS, Lambda functions as part of your provisioning, it's the ability to integrate that into the different experience also.
Okay. I didn't understand any of that.
It's cool. I don't either. I just know a bunch of words and I just really shoot them out, and I'm drinking, so it's all good.
Yeah, he wrote a script.
So what I'm really wondering is like, how does somebody know when they need to use you as a solution for a problem? Does somebody
use cloud automation services, or use me as a code?
Both of them, I guess both. But let's start with the first part. When does a customer know, oh, we really need to do this, or is this something that you have to like? Is there a huge amount of education on the front end that you have to do with your customers? You have to like really teach them what it is before they need it. Before they know they need it.
I came from working at an enterprise. And the most common model we see, and Tim, you're welcome to disagree with this, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think you probably see some. I'm not saying this is the right model at all, but I would say that it's most common that the private cloud and public cloud teams are usually not the same teams inside of the enterprise.
Right.
Furthermore, within those public cloud teams, or call them cloud teams to lump everybody together, there's usually it is a very siloed approach today. And there are a lot of efforts going on to break down the silos and get people to work together. But usually there's a guy who loves his Microsoft ELA, and he becomes the Azure guy, and he knows everything there is to know about Azure, and he's teaching people how to do Azure things and architecting Azure solutions. But then there's a different guy who's the AWS guy, and he wears Chuck Taylors to work and his DevOps sweater, and he's a savage. but he does he does all the AWS stuff, right? And
Out of control.
the problem is that these people operate in independent silos, and then you have your vSphere guys who are like, dude, I'm just trying to keep my job.
Right.
Which they shouldn't be worried about their job. They should be teaching people how to do good architecture and building things across multiple clouds. But we'll get to that later.
Sure.
That vSphere guy is working in his own silo too. The only way to create an effective process that spans all of them is to have some form of a platform that creates a relationship between all of their resources and aggregates them into one place.
Okay.
One, it creates a solution where they're all going to be talking. It creates a solution where they can collaborate together, but it also creates, more importantly, a way for the end user community to consume resources from any of them in a central portal. So, to answer your question directly, when would somebody need something like this? If you're deploying to multiple clouds, if you're a public cloud first entity,
Okay.
and most research shows that most enterprises will be multi-cloud. Their cloud choices will be specific to project.
Okay.
Right? So this project goes in AWS, this project goes in Azure, this project goes on-prem. You need some form of a platform to manage that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to be relying on the Azure guy to do the Azure stuff, the AWS guy to do the AWS stuff, and the private cloud guy to do the private cloud stuff. Whereas you can have a cloud management platform that sits above the top of it and manages inbound to all of those platforms.
I think I see the big picture now, so that helps.
I don't feel like I made that make any sense to you.
I'm getting closer. I think when we go into the in-depth talk on the podcast,
Absolutely.
then we'll get
It's
it.
better when I have pictures and live demo. It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
But I guess the abbreviated version is, if you're a customer, do you want to go to 3 different people for something, or do you want to go to a single web page for something?
That's it right there.
I want to go to a single web page.
That's it.
But there's a lot of technology on the back end that has to be in place in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
And there has to be a lot of definitions created by those individual people
Yep.
to make that happen. So as administrators, I'm collaborating with. So if I'm the private cloud guy, right? My blog is full of private cloud stuff. Tim is the public cloud guy. Tim and I both need to come to the table to provide our definitions up to Britton, the multi-cloud admin, around how he can construct a service, that satisfies all of us.
That was beautiful. That's
my
beautiful
spiel.
transition. Cody.
Tied up with a bow.
So Tim, what are you talking about, and how are you different from this guy?
So, my session today was technically written by Prabhu, but there was no point in him flying over here to cover it since I'm central, so here we are.
Right.
My session is called, Best Practices of Deploying EC2 in AWS with VMware Cloud Services.
That is a mouthful.
We're probably not going to talk about best practices and stuff so much, because I don't have his slide deck.
Well, and you're not going to. How are you going to squeeze that into? You don't.
Because I don't
Yeah.
have a slide deck.
Yeah, so
So what I'm going to do is just a lot of live demo.
yeah, so we're going to do
Cross your
100% live demo today. No slides, no anything like that. We're going to show all of the different tooling that we have with VMware Cloud Services
Okay.
to actually go in and to design and deploy EC2 instances. We're going to talk about how to monitor and secure those EC2 instances. And we're going to talk a little bit about costing and how to make those EC2 instances cheaper for you.
So the stuff that you're doing, kind of like Cody laid out, is you sort of lay on top of these other services like Azure and AWS, and you're sort of a direct, not even necessarily much a controller, but more of a monitoring and management and deployment solution with it.
The stuff that we are doing is operations and management for the public cloud.
Operations and okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think of Tim's team as more, we talk a lot about, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, we talk a lot about taking customers on this transformative journey and how we're building these products that satisfy the cloud admin of tomorrow.
Okay.
Right? We're not focused so much on the vAdmin and the guy who's building servers in the data center anymore. We're focused on how we can get the dude who's building services for the other dudes enabled.
Or women.
Enabled, the dudes or dudettes. I use dude as a generalized statement. That includes dudettes too. It's just dudettes harder to say than dudes. So
We're all inclusive in
everyone could be-
technology these
everyone
days.
could be dudes, okay? not trying to be disclusionary. That's a new word too. That's a 2 Moscow Mules deep word.
Yeah.
I think of Tim's team as the people who are going out and talking to customers and showing them how that's actually possible, and showing them how they can actually go on that journey. Because it's really easy for like an SE or a specialist to come in and be like, "Hey, I'm going to slang some product at you." But something we were talking about before you showed up, Tim doesn't carry quota. And that's kind of like a taboo thing to throw out on the internet and talk about publicly, which is why I do it to him instead.
I do it in my sessions. I like to make them known. I'm not a sales guy.
Tim has no number that he rolls up to.
Okay.
Tim rolls up to his customers being successful at leveraging public cloud, whether that be through CAS, so Cloud Automation Services, my stuff, whether that be through Network Insight, whether that be through DKE, or any other cloud platform. Tim cares about people being successful on their cloud journey. So his team is very much like an ambassador of how to be public cloud right.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly what we're focused on. And it's weird because like I've been a vSphere guy for over a decade. Like ever since I found out what a virtual machine was.
Dude, you're about 12 years old. You cannot be a vSphere guy for a decade.
I'm just saying. Since I was 4.5 years old, I've been a
You
vSphere.
got that young face. Yeah.
And now, I mean, doing cloud services, I'm doing 0 vSphere. I have turned off my home lab rack. I am disassembling it. I'm going to ditch it because it's not new enough to run 6.5 anyway, so who cares? My home lab is AWS. My home lab is Azure. That's extremely, what my sole focus is. And the customers that I want to talk to are the ones that are going and using true AWS services. In a traditional sense for VMware, if a customer is ditching their data center entirely and they're going to AWS, they're not going to be a customer of ours. It's not true anymore. We've got all of these tools and services to help customers be successful when going 100% public cloud, or even doing full multi-cloud strategy where you've got your vCenter and stuff on-prem. You may be using IBM SoftLayer for hybrid cloud, and then going to AWS and Azure to utilize their services.
And I every time I talk to you guys, I always have this overwhelming feeling that I'm 6 years behind.
That's true. We're pretty awesome.
and I'm just Cody and I are just becoming better friends by the day.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? We lost.
Oh, there's no one watching.
We lost our one live viewer.
This has gone off the rails pretty rapidly.
But it's
I
okay.
feel great about what's happening.
It was probably Tony too.
It probably was.
I'm a good viewer. I'm here. I understood everything you said.
Oh,
Good man.
awesome.
Good man.
Yes.
Means
Great
we're doing our
bartender.
jobs right. All right.
All right. Well, I will wrap that up from the Chicago VMUG UserCon. This has been a live GigaCast with Mr. Cody D. Arkland and Mr. Tim Davis. You can catch both of them on upcoming episodes of the GigaCast. Tim's going to join us when we talk to Ben DeQual from Microsoft, the Azure team. And Cody is going to talk to Tony and I until our ears bleed about everything that he does.
Trying to cause seizures.
Yeah, that'll be great. So, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.
And cut.